As time goes on for the human race, rapid developments begin to change our lifestyles. Technological advances in science have made breakthroughs in areas that were not even thought imaginable 20 years ago. Stem cell research has been a valuable new discovery that is leading towards solutions to disease and malfunctions that occur in the human body. There has been deep discussion about whether stem cell research is worth all of the money and time that is put into furthering our knowledge of anatomy. Stem cell research started the debate on cloning after scientists successfully cloned a mammal. In 1998, the Geron Corporation was quoted saying, "We have isolated and cultivated an embryonic stem cell." With the increase in technology and scientific research, new discoveries are being made each day. Adult and embryonic stem cells are currently being studied to hopefully provide more knowledge about the human body. A stem cell is a cell with no specific duty which replicates vastly and has not yet differentiated and has the potential to produce cells of a wide range of types. They can be induced to become tissue or organ-specific cells with special functions. In some organs, such as the gut and bone marrow, stem cells regularly divide to repair and replace worn out or damaged tissues. In other organs, however, such as the pancreas and the heart, stem cells only divide under special conditions. Cell death and cell growth are at the core of nearly all disorders. Research into these essential causes would be precisely the sort of research that ought to be insisted on. Having said this, embryonic and adult stem cells can be used for cures for diseases, repairs within the body, and many other biological and medical advances. Embryonic stem cells are derived from eggs that have been fertilized in a clinic, not eggs fertilized by a woman. Once scientists have obtained one stem cell, they are able to cultivate thousands in a laboratory because of their unbelievably fast rate of replication. Scientists must check to make sure that the cells they are cultivating are actually stem cells. They have a process known as characterization, which is where the scientists test the cells to see whether or not they display the essential properties that make them embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells are not the only type of stem cells. There are also adult stem cells, which many people do not know exist. Adult stem cells are undifferentiated cells found among differentiated cells in a tissue or organ that can renew itself. The role of adult stem cells is to repair the tissue in which they are found. Adult stem cells have been found in many more tissues than scientists ever thought possible. This has raised questions as to whether or not adult stem cells could be used for transplants. Adult stem cells have been identified in many organs and tissues, including the brain, the bone marrow, peripheral blood vessels, skeletal muscle, skin, teeth, heart, gut, liver, ovarian epithelium, and testes. They are thought to reside in a specific area of each tissue. Because adult stem cells have been discovered, the ethics of stem cell research can be re-looked at by the common people, and maybe more people will agree with it because there is so much to be learned about parts of the body by one little cell, a stem cell. Embryonic research has evolved in many ways, and new discussion arises every time there are reliable theories that can back up the started results. Embryonic research has turned into a nationwide debate between advances in medicine and religious views. Stem cell research is one of the most passionately debated ethical issues of the day. Embryonic stem cell research revives some essential discussions about people, discussions about who we are and what we are intended to do, discussions about the nature of the body and the duty to the others, and the limitlessness and controls and responsibilities. Lori Zoloth writes, "We could agree that healthcare research is a public good and hence needs to be freely witnessed, discussed, and debated in our democracy without secrecy and deception. The main debate about embryonic research is whether or not it is ethical and if the human race really needs to learn more or if there is a point to stop with the science. With this being said, the continuing research on embryonic stem cells has raised many questions, answered many questions, and leaves the human mind to ponder the vast expansion of embryonic stem cell research. Between adult and embryonic stem cells, the argument still holds to the fact if stem cell research is morally correct or not. More people should be educated on the subject and not just jump to conclusions. Of course, the thought of stem cells being taken from an embryo sounds terrible and should not be allowed, but that is the only side of the subject being told."